Hello ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Licklider here with a video about, of course, the upcoming series of Doctor Who. Now I thought because we are exactly 1 week away, starting this evening, it's a very good time to talk about what I'm expecting from this new season, Bill, Nardole, 12's Regeneration, and just things upcoming. So I'm going to go through everything we know and just some initial thoughts. Starting with, of course, probably the biggest news, Bill, the new companion played by Pearl Mackie, who at the internet everyone and their mother is going on completely crazy about, whereas I just can't be bothered, to be honest. I really don't care. We don't have much to go on when it comes to her character. We hear she's something like Ace, which, I mean, fair point if she is. My biggest hope is that we have a actual character instead of, unlike Clara, who was just sort of there for quite a while. And of course, other than that, we have. It looks like we might be having, because I've read reviews of the pilot saying that it's more character focused, which is kind of what it needs to be, because I believe the last time we had a companion introduction that was focused more on the companion than the Doctor was actually Partners in Crime with Donna back in 2008, and that was nearly 10 years ago. So I think that using the pilot as a way to just introduce Bill to the audience is probably the best way to go. Other than Bill, of course, the internet is going crazy because was revealed to be a lesbian. My opinion on this, I don't really care. It's 2017. Why should I care? My just fear is that that's going to be her only character trait, which I really hope it isn't, because really it shouldn't. I mean, do you have straight people, but that be their only character trait? So why should it be the same for gay people? Who knows? So we have the pilot, which the first episode takes place. Now, how much do we know about? We know that this is the one with, of course, this might be the one with the Daleks. I don't know. I think it takes place on Earth. I like the idea of the Doctor working at a university, and if it's character driven, that's probably for the best, because Moffat does do really well when he does character driven stuff. It's directed by Lawrence Goff, who is a new director for the show, which is good. It's always nice to see new talent coming in, and hopefully it won't be like Ed Bazalgette, who I've complained about in the past, just about I don't like his style. So looking forward to Goff. That's really all we know. The second episode is called Smile. Was originally rumored to be called The Emoji Planet. I think Smile is a much better name. I'm not looking forward to emoji robots. I think it's just a bit too trendy. I mean, I'll give it a chance. It might be good. It's written by Frank Cottrell Boyce, who wrote In the Forest of the Night, and In the Forest of the Night isn't very good. Moving on. That's really all I have to say, except, I mean, the trailer did give us a little bit. It looks like it'll be a good-looking episode, so there's that. Next, we will have Thin Ice, the second script from Sarah Dollard, who, of all of the writers of Series 9, I think she struck me as as probably the most deserving of coming back again. I really liked Face the Raven, had some good ideas. This episode was rumored to be titled Beneath the Thames, so it's going to be England, Victorian London, and there's going to be a sea monster beneath the Thames. I hope the Paternoster Gang isn't coming back in this episode, but if it does, cool. I don't like Thin Ice because you have the audio Thin Ice, which the title works really well for the audio. I mean, it might work well for this one, because, I mean, the audio Thin Ice is Cold War, tensions between Russia and the Western world. That's the whole point, whereas this just seems a frozen over River Thames, which, yeah, I guess thin. I don't know. Well, I'll have to see. Episode 4 is written by Mike Bartlett, who is a new writer for the show, which is always good to see new writers coming in. So it'll be interesting to see. It's originally going to be called The Haunted Hub, and it has David Suchet guest starring. Now, I'm someone who quite likes Agatha Christie's Poirot, and I'm hoping that David Suchet is actually playing a Time Lord, as The Landlord sounds a very Time Lord name. Who knows? Maybe it's the Valeyard or the Monk. David Suchet would be a really good actor to play the meddling monk if they're bringing back the meddling monk. I just thought about that. That would be interesting. I'm looking forward to most of these episodes. Bartlett again, a new writer, so it's taking a chance, which is nice. Then we have Oxygen, which is... Alright, Mike Bartlett's episode is called Knock Knock, which is an awful title. I think The Haunted Hub, well, not good, it works a little better. Knock Knock just sounds incomplete, to be honest. It doesn't work. And I don't think that's the sort of thing you really want to have when you have a title. Next, we have Oxygen by Jamie Matheson, and Jamie Matheson has probably been my favorite writer in recent years. I really liked Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline. They were both brilliant stories, so hopefully he can impress us again with Oxygen, even though I don't like the title. I think this might be the one with the flood returning? I don't know. Obviously, this is speculation. I haven't spoiled myself on everything. But then we have the 3-part story written by 3 different people, starting with Extremis, written by Stephen Moffat, The Pyramid at the End of the World, written by Peter Harness, and The Lie of the Land, written by Toby Whithouse. Now, Extremis and The Pyramid at the End of the World are probably going to be the most difficult for me to get into. I like this title for Pyramid at the End of the World and Extremis, but the problem is Moffat's writing in recent years with Hellbent, and then Return of Dr. Mysterio, and even to an extent, Husbands of River Song, the 3 last stories we've had were all written by Moffat, and while the strongest was Husbands of River Song, and that would technically be qualified as good because of a couple of moments, it's still not a good track record. Hellbent is one of the worst episodes in the show's history, while Return of Dr. Mysterio is a bit of fluff. It isn't a very good bit of fluff, and some of the acting and direction is atrocious in that story. But Daniel Nettelheim will be directing Extremis and the Pyramid at the End of the World. Nettelheim, I believe, has directed for the show before. If he hasn't, then it's fine by taking new director. And then The Lie of the Land, which is directed by Wayne Yip, who, while directing Class, directed actually 2 of the episodes of Class that actually looked pretty good. Like, they actually took time to develop shots and actually look like they were trying to tell a story through something. So I'm looking forward to him. I'm looking forward to the villains, the Truth Monks. They look interesting. We don't know much about them, but it's nice to have a new villain, especially amongst one with Movellins returning, Ice Warriors returning, Daleks, and of course the Mondasian Cybermen. Next we have The Empress of Mars, which is written by Mark Gatiss, hopefully, and I'm supposed to have a female Ice Warrior in it. Now if Gatiss plays his cards right, and he does a sort of a sequel to The Lords of the Red Planet by Big Finish without directly mentioning it, he'll probably have a very good episode. Again, I'm looking forward to the season in general, because even though I've been dissatisfied with Who for the last 3 episodes, it just feels good to have it back on television. To be brutally honest, it just does. But next we have, of course, The Eaters of Light, probably the episode I'm looking forward to the most because it's written by Rona Munro. I'm treating Rona Munro as a new writer because she wrote Survival, which is a good story. It is. Really, the script is great for Survival. The problems with it are really the execution. Some of the direction is a bit off, and McCoy's second, If We Fight Like Animals, We'll Die Like Animals. But I'm glad we're getting a classic writer back. I would have preferred Mark Platt, Andrew Smith, or even Terrence Dicks. I mean, I'm fine with Monroe. It's just my own preferences for someone who's done more than one script for Who, because, all those other writers have either done multiple scripts on television or Big Finish, and Big Finish is amazing. So, But hey, we're getting a classic writer, and hopefully she does good, although it's supposed to be very Scottish. And then we have, of course, the finale, which is directed by Rachel Talalay again. And Rachel Talalay did Dark Water, Death in Heaven, Heaven Sent, and Hellbent, all 4 excellent-looking stories, even if the quality varied from episode to episode. Talalay is a really good director. She knows how to get characters' emotions across through film, which I really do like. She's up there with my favorite directors, I think, of Doctor Who of all time, up there with Douglas Camfield, Graham Harper, Nick Hearn is definitely up there, David Maloney, and she's up there with the greats, which is really good. But of course, Stephen Moffat is writing the finale. And then, of course, other things we know. We know that Capaldi will regenerate by the end of the year. There was just a little glimpse of him regenerating in the trailer, which looks interesting. I hope they do a different regeneration effect, which it's something that I do quite like. That'll be interesting. Just to watch. I hope we get a new Doctor announcement soon. I hope it stays a male. I don't care the race as long as they're either British, Welsh, Irish, or Scottish. Those are just my only stipulations. And of course, I hope it's actually good. I hope a lot of the season is good. We'll probably get some duds. I mean, my mileage, Series 8 was actually a step in the right direction. We had some falls, but it's good. Season 9 was a step back. Outside of, there really wasn't anything spectacular outside of Heaven Sent, and then maybe Face the Raven, but those are in the middle of, Sleep No More, which was underrated but still not good, and then Hellbent, which is probably one of the worst episodes in the show's history, because it undoes 54 years of character development for the Doctor for no reason. A couple of things, however, that I will land on a positive note, as we have some things that a couple of negatives. We have, of course, Michelle Gomez returning for a couple of episodes as the Master, and John Simm is coming back as the Master, which, as much as I would have loved Alexander McQueen from Big Finish to jump to television, I understand why they did it. I hope it's enough to get the ratings up, and I hope that a lot of the things that they're doing with Bill being gay gets the ratings up, because the ratings have been falling, and it's just a scary It's a scary thing to think about, that the show is being badly rated. I hope it doesn't end. I hope that the switch over for Moffat to Chibnall goes well, and it doesn't only goes well, we can get the show back up, because part of it's the bad writing and stereotypes. I hope just everything can go well, very well, for the series in Series 9. Though we'll know next Saturday how the pilot is, and I will be filming a reaction to that as after I watch it. I might not watch it I might have to watch it the next day simply because of time. But my watching doesn't go into the ratings, as I'm an American. A couple things I'm also not really excited about. Fadi El Said, who was Ram in Class, is guest starring in an episode apparently, which I can't be excited about. I didn't like Class. Class was just bad. It was just a generally bad spinoff, and I just, there's not much I can say about it other than that. There was that, and finally we have the Ice Warriors coming back. We have a couple of new things. We have a couple of new villains coming in. The titles are a bit very, very hit or miss. I don't like the idea of the pilot, because it sounds like we're making the show a completely new show, which is what Moffat is setting out to do. But he set out to do that in Series 8 and Series 9. I think we need a little bit of consistency. Though, definitely, if we do what I think we'll do is do a complete story with Bill as the focus, we can avoid Clara's, the Clara syndrome of course, having a companion who really, I hate to say it, didn't get developed at all and was inconsistent. That's why Clara's my least favorite companion. But remaining optimistic, this is Jacob Licklider signing off for the evening. And of course, stay tuned next week, hopefully, for when I will be able to release my reaction to the pilot.